Awesome. Awesome. Hello, my beautiful people. It's Adriana here, and hello to body, mind, and soul connectors, because we all love to connect. And what is more important than connecting our body, our minds, and our souls together and coming here together in this beautiful community? And before anything else today, let's give a big shout out to Lorna, because it's her birthday today. Happy birthday, Lorna. We are absolutely pleased that you're taking this time to be with us here. And thank you to each one of you here for being present, because today will not be what's going to happen today without each one of you here. So thank you for your time. And today we're going to find a little bit more, put a spotlight, ring light, or whatever you want on you today. And we want you to shine and tell us who you are and what beautiful gifts you bring into this world, and how you are a piece of puzzle into this beautiful movement that is happening in this universe. So we're going to start by each one of you is going to say your name, where are you from in this world, and also your title. So we're going to start with, I'm going to say quickly, my name is Adriana de Marvel, and I am currently in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, and I'm a mindset and trauma coach. And I will pass it on to Eve.
That's quick. Support through natural remedies and holistic living by first making yourself an own healer, by making your own healing remedies, so we live as natural as possible, as non-toxic as possible. And then I also give that from maiden mother to crown. So that really means that I'm supporting you from your first period into your menopause. That's kind of it.
Awesome. Amazing, great. We're all over the place. Let's go to Nancy.
Well, thank you as well for letting me be here. I'm glad I finally made it, and I'm glad to be with these soul-aligned women. So thank you for having me. But I am Nancy G. Regan. I'm from Massachusetts. I work with women 40 plus. I'm a holistic wellness coach, and I help women rediscover themselves by doing the subconscious work so they can live in alignment with their true selves. And nature is an extremely important part of my work with my clients to help them mind, body, soul, and emotionally align.
Beautiful. And I can tell you, I always see her post, and she's always out and about.
Right.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And thank you for being here. And let's go to Carla.
Hello, everyone. I am Carla Hooker. I'm a kids dance specialist. I am here in the beautiful city of Sanford, North Carolina. I'm originally from Washington, D.C. I've helped kids for over 30 years gain confidence and be more resilient through the art of dance.
Beautiful. Thank you for your work. And North Carolina, I lived there for a while, so we have things in common. Awesome. And let's go to our birthday girl today, Lorna.
I am a somatic sexologist. Oh, and first of all, I'm here in British Columbia on the west side of Canada. Somatic sexologist and a sex and spirit alchemist of the feminine-led life, award-winning speaker, and a poet as well.
And last but not least, our host, Michelle.
Hey guys, it's Michelle Boshard. I call myself the natural entrepreneur, and I am a digital doula. So I help folks birth their online offers. I help them craft their offers, and I help them build the tech that supports all the pieces. Think sales funnels, affiliate programs, subscription communities, all the tech. So it's lovely to be here with you all, and happy birthday again, Lorna.
Awesome. That was great to hear a little bit of each one of you. And I'm going to pass it on to our birthday girl today, and she's going to take over and is going to get us into a little bit more depth and finding out who you are today. Lorna?
Thank you, Adriana. And it's so good to be here with each of you. I always love who we get to meet. And it was mentioned about this, these heart-led, soul-led women, people that show up. And it's just really a joy to connect with each one. And Adriana, Michelle, and I, when we envisioned and felt into this, it just felt just a real potency to that. And I know that that's been the experience each time that we are on here and get to be witness to and hear each of you share. It's just really a joy. And as we talk about it, it's a connection circle, and to be able to allow this to be a time to connect with one another. And there may be some collaborations that show up from here. There may be some clients that show up from here, where they're referred, or somebody that listens to you within the group. And Michelle will give opportunity to share some of that at the end as well. In this center section, what we're going to do is a container of 5 minutes for each of us. And I say us as well, because Adriana and Michelle and I also do this, so that you can know a little bit about who we are, what we bring forward. And what we've also found is that each time that we share it, there's some other little nugget that comes up, or I've never phrased it that way, or some clarity that comes. And so that's why we do actually invite you as well. You're here today, and we love that you're here. We also invite you to come back again. It's not just a one or done, it's come back again, because you'll get to meet other people. You'll have opportunity to, again, be broadcast into the group where people can see you and hear about you, your work as well. So you're invited to come back as many times as you feel moved to do so. So in this 5 minutes, what we're going to do is there are 3 questions for you. The first one is, what are your gifts? What are the talents, the gifts, the passions, that calling that you have that brings you to the work that you're in? And the second one is, how do you share them, and who do you share them with, and why? What's your why? And you can answer those 3 questions in whatever order that you choose. Michelle has popped them into the chat below, so you can refer to them that way. So those are your 3 questions. Now, one of the ways that we like to do it here, and it's born from our own experience, is that I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to be sharing. What am I going to share about? What am I going to say? What am I going to say? And I forget. I am not even paying attention to what's being shared. So our invitation to you today is to really listen. Set aside that idea of, I need to figure out what I'm going to say. It's just, or even if you've got you're writing that you read from, whatever, even to not even paying attention to that, and just be so here that your presence is felt, that you get to hear the words and behind and beyond the words of what is being shared by each of the people. So that's one of the things we invite you to. The second thing is, just like in here, we're in this beautiful time in the Northern Hemisphere, we're in this season of spring where the birds are making their nests and pieces, and also about a web. And so as we weave this web of connection that's happening here, I invite you to, as you share and you're listening, is that whoever shared before you, as you listen, there might be something that you have heard from them that you want to connect to, maybe something you relate to, or it brings up a question, some way that you can just connect to what they've shared. Just, a 10-second, 30-second connection, acknowledgement. And then from there, go in and share your 5 minutes. And then your time is done. And this person who speaks after you will do the same thing, is take a thread of what they heard from you and it connects with them. And they'll connect and acknowledge that, and then share into their 5. So we're just weaving this connection that happens with what we share. All right. So we're going to go ahead and I'm feeling to start. We're going to start with Nancy today, please.
Well, thank you so much. So I have to go back to the age of 10 to where my story and how I ended up transitioning into where I am now. And I did not know that until I hit 40. So at the young age of 10, I ended up being my mother's therapist. She suffered from depression. And at that time, I did not know that she suffered from depression. I sat down with her. I listened to her. She released all of her frustrations, her emotional baggage, so to speak. And I was there for her. And did I think about that at the time? No. I'm like, didn't everybody else do this at the age of 10? I mean, I had no clue. But my savior was nature, because I still was a child. I was outside walking outdoors, climbing trees, riding my bicycle. So I never really felt anything towards that. It was just something that was incorporated in my day every day with my mother. And until I turned 40, that's when all of a sudden I need to do some healing. I had issues that she had, trust issues, self-worth issues, self-acceptance issues, self-love issues. When I started working on myself, a light bulb went off and I'm like, I know where that came from. And I did not learn until my mother was 80 years old that something happened to her from a neighbor, and it all the pieces connected. She never went into detail, but I felt sad in my heart that she suffered for all those years carrying that weight of, whatever happened to her. I am assuming she was molested, but it was very sad for me. So what I did during my own healing period of time when I started my 40s, I ended up deciding, when I saw living in alignment with myself, being able to learn how to love myself, accept myself for all those imperfect, perfect of me moments and things about me, and my worth. I am a valuable person and I have a lot to offer. And through my healing, I have learned, you beautiful women and all the people in the world, we all have a gift to share. And it's for us to find out what that gift is and to help others grow into alignment with their authentic selves. So that's how I have moved into my business. And I work with women 40 plus since I started at the age of 40 and discovered who I was and what I needed to heal from my childhood. And now I do that for women by working on their subconscious, help them heal themselves and love themselves and accept themselves for who they are, because they are uniquely beautiful, all of us. And I incorporate nature because nature, as I said, was my savior. So I incorporate hikes, retreats. This summer, I'm actually going to be doing mountaintop meditation. I'm also going to be doing dogs, incorporating. A lot of people women want to bring their dogs, which is, right? Who doesn't love dogs? I have 2 dogs and 3 cats. I love animals. So I'm going to be incorporating that. And I also do a Women's Wisdom Wednesdays where we just come. It's just a discussion for women to come together, feel at ease, being able to be open, because everything we discuss stays within that group. And I want women to feel safe and a safe space. So everything that I do is for everyone to feel safe and to heal, because whether it's your weight or your mindset or your soul, it all needs to be healed, and it all goes back to something that happened. It doesn't even have to be something traumatic. It could be something ancestral that you are carrying. And I didn't know about any of this until I started doing the work when I was 40 years old. So my gift is to help women to live in alignment, to feel free, at peace, and calm, and accepting of who they are. Less than 4 minutes.
Oh, that's beautiful. I have a question. How do you offer your services? Is it one-to-one? Is it group? Is it a course? How do you show up?
Yeah, one-on-one. This summer is the first time I've actually offered group, just because summer's tough, vacations, things like that, but a very small group of 4 women. What I have found as well, if women are local within an hour distance of myself, I meet them on the trail and we actually are out in nature, walking, doing our discussion. And I find that their baggage is dropping. I like to call it the little clips, right? Each moment, every step they take outdoors, that ease is coming. They feel more open. They feel more safe. And that's what I want them to know. It's a sacred space. You are free. What you say stays here. If they are not local, obviously I work with a lot of people out of state and country that we still have them. I still have them go outdoors and incorporate nature, whether it's sitting outdoors, going for a walk, hiking, but something outdoors. Thank you.
So inspiring. And I loved hearing you talk about, with each step they take, things sort of start to drop off. Thank you for sharing. We're going to go next to Adriana.
And I wanted, to be honest, to be next because I connected so deeply with what Nancy said. And me and Nancy, we've been trying for a while actually to keep doing an interview together. So I think it was meant for me and her to connect, because I truly understand her so deeply. I grew up maybe not exactly the same, but in a similar situation in the sense that I grew up with 2 parents that both of them were very different, and in the same time, both of them very stubborn and having their own traumas that they weren't aware of. And I grew up being the person that got the punches between both of them, physically, emotionally, mentally, and you name it, all of them. And growing up like that, you realize that, and Nancy knows very well, that you don't feel safe. You don't feel safe, and what do? You learn how to bubble yourself up with these beliefs, with these limiting patterns, with these mindsets, and give. And if you know that you can help others and take care of others, you feel somehow safe, because then you are in control. And this is what happened to me. I became a control freak and a victim role. I played the victim role in my life, because that was the only way I could feel safe. If I can control people around me, then I'm able to control what can happen with me. And this created a human being as an adult, become an adult, where of course that will reflect, and you will spill over to my relationships, which I struggle with, finances, and everything else. And I playing this victim role, I always say to my clients as well, too, it comes a point in your life when you have a list with all the people that you can blame on of everything that happened in your life. But at the end of the day, one day in your life, close to my 30s, I realized that that list is ended, and the only person in that list is me. And then I had to take the responsibility of looking at my own and figure out what's happening with me. Where do I have all these limiting beliefs? Where do I have this mindset? From who and where and how I adopted, and find the truth. And when I find the truth, that's when I became more, I felt the liberation of not keeping that victim part of me anymore. And I can create my own safety in my own self. And that helped me to doing my own journey of many courses, many things. I became like a junkie, and I'm sure all of you are a little bit of that here, a bit of a self-development junkie, and that helped me to liberate of all those patterns and all those limited beliefs, and it's ongoing work. And my gift, if I can say it, is that I see beyond the bullshit of what people, the facade of people putting, because that was me. I have many faces that I put on in the world, and I can see beyond that, and I can see the hurt and the suffering underneath that, and I can bring that up and show them that is beauty into their mess. The way I created from my mess to my mastery, the way I can create for people as well. And the way I do that is by learning people how to know themselves. Because when you know yourself, you can be yourself. You cannot be yourself without knowing who you truly are. And that is something I work on, and I do that through workshops. I love practical tools when people can actually see the results and do the practical stuff right there and then, so they can have a taste of their own power and then work greatness, and they be able to actually continue the work. And I do that through coaching one-on-one and groups and masterminds, which is going to happen soon, and also through my daily videos and so many other things that I'm working on. A community, like a membership community. And more I learn about myself, more I want to share with the world, because I think our gifts, all of you here, our gift is not for us, is to give it to other people. And through our own journey, it's our duty. I truly believe it's our duty to share this with others, the way others helped us at one point in our life. And this is a little bit about me. I am excited again to be here. I thank you to each one of you, and I'm looking forward to hear your guys' gifts. Thank you.
Thank you, Adriana. And as I heard you today, again, hearing some new pieces about you, and I love that. Thank you for sharing. Now I'm feeling to go to Eve. Eve, we look forward to you sharing with us.
Okay, I'll try to do it in 5 minutes if I can. To have a little backstory, I was from a little child always fascinated with nature, and being in nature and having like this pot and stirring around, like a little witch. But I always was afraid to show my authenticity. And I think a lot of us have that. So I hide that part of me. And a connection that I have with my dad is we're watching always Shaolin movies. So I got into, everybody knows Karate Kid, and everybody knows doing like this and having these cups and having these herbs. And I was so fascinated by it. I was like, oh, I want to learn that. So I got into Chinese medicine, into herbal medicine. And then at one point in my life, I wanted to become a mother. And there I hit a bit of rock bottom because I had 3 losses. And after doing everything the doctors told me, I couldn't be a mom. So I know what I did, and that was Chinese medicine and herbs. And that blessed me with 2 amazing children. And because I went through the pain of having a loss, having postpartum depression, having the whole shit show, I want to prevent that for every woman. From her pre-pregnancy to her postpartum, I want her to have most amazing experience. And that's why I say it's from maiden mother to crown. It's really important because we are everything. Everything starts with a woman, everything ends with a woman. So I do this through natural remedies and also supporting them, giving them tools and strategies through one-on-one programs online. And I also have a podcast on the Peanut app. I don't know if you're familiar with the Peanut app, where everybody's there, pre-pregnancy, in pregnancy, postpartum, depression, whatever thing, and just support those because I went there. I experienced it. So I want to make that change. So that's a skill set that I have. And then I have embedded that and intertwined that with my witchy area. That is so my oracle readings, my crystals, and that's the mix that I provide. And that's me. So the true full colors. And I think a lot of, as Nancy said, and as Adriana said, we have experienced that from our childhood, from experiences, our personal experience. And because we felt that pain, we want to change that. And as one woman connects with another woman, we are not against each other. We are providing more. And as we grow together, we make this movement much bigger. Because it's not about us, it's about serving, because those are the gifts and the skills and the vision that God has given to you. So it would be bad and injustice to have that vision given to God, from God, and yours to not serve the people that you are supposed to serve, because you are a blessing in the world and you are worth it, each and every one of you. And again, thank you for the opportunity.
I want to know more about how people get a hold of you, like, and when do you work? You obviously work online, or
Yes.
do you primarily work in person, or how do you package your services?
I one-on-one with, and also online programs. So I do programs, 1 month program. I have a 3 month and a 6 month mentorship, and I also provide a 1-on-1. And on a Monday and on a Friday, I always share a little health tip. And always a healing message that I'm going to share at the end of the whole this. So, yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
There you go. And you were concerned that you would be able to not share it all in 5 minutes.
Yeah, see, and
a lot of
exactly.
And I'm going to just allow that you've got this space. I'm just going to invite you just to see if there's anything else that would like to be shared right now.
I have, if you know someone that has experienced a loss, I'm going to host a workshop, Pregnancy After Loss. So really make the feelings understand that it's not their fault that they had a miscarriage, and truly embrace how you can holistically get into a pregnancy and why you don't tell from the doctors that it's 2 periods and you get started. No, it's a minimum of 4 months. And the reason that is a sperm cell and an egg cell needs a minimum of 3 to 4 months to be in a good base, a good foundation. So because you provide the best version of you, you provide the best version of your partner, and then you will have the best ascended, and then you also live a legacy, because it's lifting up the threshold.
Thank you. And just like that, a babe that is ready to be born, there was something that felt that it was important to share that. So thank you for birthing that in this last minute. Thank you. Carla, welcome. So glad you're here. Good to see you. And look forward to hearing what you will share with us today.
Thank you, Lorna, for the opportunity to speak and be here on this platform. And I was thinking, as Eve was talking about the babies and whom she works with, I don't work with babies, but I work with the children as they begin to get older and their parents. As one who grew up with sickle cell disease, I was often left out and told what I couldn't do this, I couldn't do that. You might not live long enough to do this. You might not live long enough to do that. And at some point in my life, I decided as a teen and as once I turned 21, that I'm going to live as long as God would have me to live. It doesn't matter what the doctors say. I'm going to be a warrior and push through this. And that's what I teach the children. And I also teach their parents that children know what they want to be. People try to change them into what they wish they want to be, they would have them to be. So a kid might say, I want to be a superhero. And the parent is like, oh, no. You want to be a doctor. Tell them you want to be a doctor. But that's not what the child wants to be. They know. I believe, and this is my belief, other people might not agree with me, but I believe from the time that you're born, you know what you want to be. I believe that God has put it between your two ears and also in your heart, and you know. And I was a child who was always walking around with a comb or a brush or a pen and pretending like I was Cher or Diana Ross. I knew I loved the stage, I loved the limelight and all that good stuff, even though people don't believe me, other than my close friends and very close family members, that I'm actually shy. But because I was always practicing, I know, it's like I'm not Beyonce, but I've got some kind of alter ego where I pull it out. And I use that same thing with children to pull it out of them. My brother was always pretending, and he's going to get me, but I don't care because I'm the big sister. He was always pretending like he was Batman. And he just knew he was Batman. He would walk around with rain boots on when it was sunny outside and a cape. And it was like, where are you going? We never told him he couldn't be Batman. And now he's 37 years old and he still wears Batman shirts. But guess what? He is a project manager for Disney. So don't tell me people don't know who they want to be. Just like me, I was always a busybody. My parents exposed me to a lot of things. I played the flute and bassoon. They took me on a lot of trips. I did a little bit of everything. My dad even took me to work at the police station with him. Yeah, that's a little weird. I was safe. He was a desk sergeant, but I learned, that I'm safe wherever I am. I never felt insecure being there with him at work. I never felt afraid. And I teach children, I believe that's where I teach children where some of the resilience comes from, that I teach them, and the confidence. People say, oh, Carla, you're so strong. You're so, you're so this, you're so that. I'm just being myself. And I bring that out of the kids. I look at them and I draw it out. I believe my talent and my gift is also to see what is going on with someone and to hear. I can hear like the spirits that are in a person without sounding, a little woo-woo or weird, but I do. God has blessed me with that gift. I hear it. Someone can tell me, I can say, hey, how you doing, Michelle? And Michelle can go, oh, I'm doing great. But I might hear, oh, I'm doing great. It'll sound like it's in reverse. And then I'll be able to draw from there by looking at her, and I can see what spirit she needs lifted off of her. And I've been blessed with the gift to be able to do that. I hear it when friends call, family members, my daughter, whomever it is. And I do this with children, and I've done it for over 30 years. I believe that the suffering that I went through when I was in elementary school made me more sensitive to what children go through every day. Because I was told, you can't participate in gym. You can't do that. You need to go drink more water. You need to sit down. And then I was always tired. So I learned to look for these things with children over the years. And that's what brings my gift out and helps me help them. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Is there anything in terms of how you work, like, so with the dance, is there other ways that you work with the children and the parents?
There is. I've never been the traditional dance school. I've always had kids over to my house and had slumber parties, taking them on trips, field trips, to go see my company, the Dance Theater of Harlem, perform live and let them meet the dancers and Virginia Johnson and Keith Saunders in person. So I do a little bit of everything. We might have an ice cream party. We might go to McDonald's and I treat everybody, things like that. Because I think it brings them closer together and it lets them see that you're a real person.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Carla.
You're welcome.
I'm going to go next. And the thread that I'm going to carry from what Carla just shared was that aspect of children seem to know from a very early age what they're going to be. For me as a child, I felt I always wanted to be a nurse. And at some point, that sort of dropped off the side. But when you think about a nurse, what is it? I picture, putting a Band-Aid on, being there. And for me, while at some point there's that helping part, for me, it comes down to the healing part, to be able to play my role in healing. And Tom Harper, a former journalist from Toronto, prior to when he passed, he had a book out, The Uncommon Touch, and he talks in there about his definition of healing that I have held onto and lived from, for these last 25, 30 years, is that healing actually talks about we are whole. It's not about putting pieces together. It's about that recognition that we are whole already. And so based on my own journey, looking at the whole sexuality piece of things, that somehow we think there's something wrong, something broken, to be able to recognize, no, we sometimes wear these shrouds of shame, or the shrouds of should or shouldn't put on, or, imposed on us, if you will, by external forces. To be able to look at, no, who are we? What is our wholeness beyond and beneath that? To be able to look at things, reconnecting the sexuality and the spirituality, that they have never been separate. To be able to look at how we've thought of males and females as, how we have to come back, and kind of like, no, it's all here right within us. So to be able to play that role of the healing, to recognize our wholeness as we are, regardless of the story that's playing out around us. And I'm going to just do my timer here. To recognize that in that wholeness, but we've been taught to look outside of ourselves. And as an avid story reader from the time that I was probably age 5 or 6, I've been reading. And as a school teacher previously, in one of my previous lives, what was one of my roles is to help children learn how to write stories. And then to be able to, movies and reading books. And now in our world, there's this whole emphasis on our stories, tell our stories. And then to come back to, number one, how do we unweave those stories to recognize the power that's within them, to see that everything that has come before has been there perfectly in time and place to support us as the star of our own show, to really be here. It's all been there for us. Nothing has been said, nothing has been done that we, in our infinite creatorship and our spirit, our essence of who we are, did not put in place at the beginning. But to be able to look outside for partner, pleasure, authority, permission, all of those things, it's a way to take us outside of that sense of who we are. So to be able to, okay, it's time to come back home and reclaim our power, reclaim our true essence, reclaim the power, our wholeness within us as sexual beings, the role that sex, I'm not just talking about the act, but that creative aspect of who we are, the role that it plays in one way expressing ourselves, but also now to be able to come back into remembering and living the truth of who we are. I remember when I had my midlife sexual awakening about 15 years ago, and today I turned 62 years old, born in 1962, and today I'm 62, so there's something really fun about that. And I remember it was a part of my midlife sexual awakening. There were two things that started to happen. One of them was that I just started to have all these different awarenesses about food and sex. Like, wow, we do that with food. What about if we do that with sex? And it's beyond this idea of aphrodisiacs and having this romantic candlelight dinner. It's so much more than that. And that just kept coming. And so from there was a workshop that was born called Sex Like Food. And that is becoming now really start to be central in what I share. But also what started to happen was poetry. It's kind of like, oh, the spidey senses, right? Kind of like, oh, something's coming. I would just get my BlackBerry out at the time and just type. And then I'd go back and read what came through and looking at this sense of who we think we are as beings, our sexuality and our divinity, really bringing it all back together. And so in my work, I work with individuals, couples, women, men, really helping women empower women and training men. And some people think, what's that about? But for me, it's really about how do we connect everybody into our sexuality, into our divinity, which is masculine, feminine. And I work in the BDSM realm of things. I've worked as a pro-dom for many years, and I see that as a part of our wholeness. How do we really come back into this place of empowerment and sinking it into our divine service as masculine and feminine? All right, there we go. And here we go now to you, Michelle. Please share.
Lorna, you're such a gift. You know, forget getting gifts on your birthday. You are the gift. And I say that, you guys, because Lorna has deeply, and Adriana, both, I've worked with them personally on their specific gifts, and it never ceases to amaze me what a profound impact they've had, and how much I'm sure each of you have a profound impact on your clients. Lorna speaking to the coming home to yourself, and, you know, balancing your masculine and your feminine, and connecting your spirit and soul, and owning who you are. And I think, you know, what was said before, I think it was Nancy maybe, but we forget what we came here for, or maybe it was Carla. You know, like, we come to the planet and there is with a God-given gift, or, you know, like, we come to Earth School to kind of live out this thing that we came here to do. And at the first part, we kind of like either forget about it or erase it with the societal imprinting, and but it's always in us. It's just like innate. And so what I love to do is or what I'm currently doing as part of my gift is I love to help people bring that into the realm of being able to offer it as a service. And so when it's like, oh, I really know, I'd love to do this. You know, people always come to me to talk to me about this. I have a skill, a passion, a life lesson that I want to package up and help, but I don't know where to start. I don't know how to do it. And so I help them work through, okay, well, these are the components. This is what you have to think about. You know, we go, so I offer a couple of things. One is a program to go 8 weeks from, I don't know what the heck I'm doing, to my first sale. I also have for people who have had their first sales and who are, you know, they're doing it and it's great, but oh my gosh, I've got like 10,000 softwares and like 40 million passwords and like all this administrative structure and all the social media stuff, and then the onboarding and all of the things, the administrative infrastructure that overwhelms you, and you just want to do the thing that you want to do. So I have a program where I could take those people in 12 weeks from that kind of state through making sure that their offer is, because it takes a while to kind of like settle into like what you do. Once you know what you want to do, once I settle you in, making sure your branding and everything's on point, and that you've got your target audience nailed, and we generate your audience. But what we do is we work through your offer and we harmonize all of your tech. We assess, do an offer ecosystem assessment. I'm a biologist by formal training. My mom was a nature artist, and this is some of her paintings. She passed recently. And I have always just had a really big connection to, I was a watershed stewardship coordinator helping people do habitat restoration at one point. And I also worked doing agriculture and biofuels, and I was an organic farmer. And so I have all of these connections to nature. And so I was like, business needs to be natural. Business is not, it needs to, and your offer needs to function like an ecosystem. It needs to work. It needs to be natural for you to do in your day. It has to fit in around your life and your priorities. I'm tired of fitting in other people's boxes, and we need to express our own selves and purposes. So we have to design our businesses so they function well. They help, help our lives, and that helps us express our gifts so that we play our role in the cosmic clockworks of who we are at the right time for what people, and that we show up and that we can effectively deliver. So I got into that though because of my son. So my kids. I have a son who's on the autism spectrum. Very severely impacted and self-injurious and violent. And the journey with him and his sister, who's now 16 going on 31 and brilliant. But it's been quite a journey as a family. And so where that took us was I had to put in the resources for him. And I developed a respite company to provide care. And that was great for the parents, workers, and kids, but it wasn't making money. So I developed all of this digital marketing stuff out of a need to have kind of a bake sale to raise money. And I'm a social purpose enterprise. So all of my digital marketing work is targeted at relieving, creating ease, joys, and peace for caregivers and restoring ecosystem function. So that's what I do with my time. And so and so that's me. And it has been such a joy to have you all here. I'm going to take the next step here, Lorna. Thank you. And just kind of let's do a round where if there was a thread that you wanted to weave in or something you wanted to, I saw your hand go up at one point there, Nancy, and I was like, oh, we got to go back. So when we do this round, I want you to give me a word that described how you felt about this session. Like what was it? Give me one word to describe it. If you had to say inspiring or like whatever the word is for you. And then just if there's any closing thought you'd like. And so we'll have like 30 seconds to a minute, Lorna, I think, to be able to do that. And then I'll tell you about some other aspects of it. But let's start back at the top with Nancy. Nancy, what's your word for today? How did it go?
Connectedness, because we are all connected. We are all one. And hearing your stories, a little bit of each, I felt it. And, we are one. We're one with nature. People think we're separate, but we're not. So I loved hearing the stories. I think it was Adriana that had mentioned she can hear from other people. You can hear their hurt, like that projection. And that's what listening to people, even to somebody at work coming in the hallway and listening. And I'm like, wow, I can heal or hear that they need to heal. And through my own work and going back to Carla, jumping on that, how she can hear those spirits, or again, like I think she used an example, Michelle, saying that, yay, I'm doing great. But then she hears, yeah, I'm doing great. You know what I mean? That whole not your true reality. And for myself, which I didn't say, is I've had to learn to become an empath at that young age because of my mother, to be able to keep those, right, that, what do you want to say, that peace, right? Or when those moods were going to shift. And because of that, I now relate to other people. Sometimes I can walk by people and I feel what's going on, a blessing and a curse at the same time. And then Eve, right away, I'm crystals, I'm tarot. I'm thinking like, oh, that's my girl. I'm there, because I think all of us, there are so many pieces and it's never ending. It's just this long web. And this is, I guess, there's more to us, right, than what you see. And also, I'm going to jump back to Adriana and say that this journey is a lifetime. It's a lifetime. It's never ending. There's always something that we unveil about ourselves. And I forget who said it, but in other words, and it may have been Adriana, that we can continue to bring that on and help others through that. So.
Thank you so much for being here today, for sharing your...
Quick. And Lorna, just want to say, sex, people don't like to talk about it, the same as death. So I think it's great that you're out there.
Right? Yeah, no, that lady taught me how to own it for sure. And it's been good. So anyway, I'm really glad that you were here, Nancy, sharing your gift. You are we're so happy to have you here in the group, and we'll definitely come back. Let's go and hear Eve. What's your word for today?
I have multiple.
I know,
but well, the first thing that pops up besides of empath, that Nancy said, we are really empathic here, so that's why we are all connected with nature, and but also really our frequency. It's we are having the same frequency, and we are so aligned with each other. And then I get genuine. So it's not about making connection to make a sale, but it's like really having this genuine connection, because everything is like tablets, computer, and we lose that heart to heart conversation, sharing who you truly are, your passions, your downfalls, whatever it is. So we are really making genuine connections, and we all hear as I like to say, and Lorna really talks my language. Like, I hear realm, I hear divine, I hear, like, I talk, so I get into this enchanting realm. I'm like, okay, I'm loving the whole vibe. So it's really, we are weaving an amazing, genuine connection with each other. And that's why we are kindred spirits.
That's amazing.
So I couldn't chase more one.
No, that's okay. I'm going to put genuine frequency, genuine connection frequency. Does that cover it?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. Because this is exactly what Lorna and Adriana and I had hoped to do in connecting everyone here. Yes, it's an opportunity to connect you with potential clients. Yes, it's an opportunity to develop collaborations and connect with other people you need, but it's about that piece. So thank you for speaking.
I do want to share something to add this, and that's the beauty of the universe. Before you reached out, or I reached out, I can't remember how but it was the universe that we brought together. And I had someone, she wanted to do an online body, mind, spirit thing. And she wanted to do this like chop. And I'm like, I'm not chop. This takes time, right? It's not in 6 weeks I'm going to build it and we're going to get money in. And this is going to do this way. And you're going to do that. And I was like, and I told my friend, and I'm like, I don't feel good about my instincts, and my energy was like, no. So she sent me a message, and we were 3. So the 2 of them were really connected because they also were in UK based, and I was like in Greece. So we also had the time zone, and I was like, okay, whatever. And she sent me a message, and she was like, yeah, we want to, you don't put an energy in. And I was like this, and I was sick. I had 3 weeks, my parents here. So I was like, okay, but I didn't feel bad. I was like, there closes a door, but some will open. And within 2 days, I reached out to you, or you reached out to me. And I was like, oh, wow. And I was like, universe, yes.
Oh, well, we are so honored to have you here and just love your energy. So appreciate you and just being here and showing up, and your laughter and your smile. And I feel your work with the maiden to motherhood,
mother to crown,
is just really profound. So thank you for bringing that gift to help women with that. Carla, what's your word for today?
Eve and Nancy took all the good words, but there's still others. I thought about puzzle, because we all are pieces that are connecting with one another into the world. I thought of heart-centered. I thought of empaths. I thought of a little bit of everything, but because our energy is aligned, everything is aligned. But I think puzzle sums it up for me, for each of us, and how we fit together.
Amazing. And I really love about you particular. I know we've bumped into you in the Empower Network TV and other places, but I love about you that it's sort of like you kind of remind me of Adriana, actually, with this, that, you know what? You tell me that I can't, I can, right? And I love
Right.
that about you. So thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
bringing that, because I feel you, and I just love how you support the kids and you let them feel heard and seen for who they are. So
Absolutely.
that's amazing. Yeah.
Thank you.
Now I'm going to go to the birthday girl. What's your word today, lady?
You know what's coming is woo. And go back to that and kind of, oh, there we are, there's home.
Well, and it's that the magical transition point between spirit and reality. That is the thing that you work with about sex, right? That is the thing that women do. We manifest, we build things into being in our bodies and our hearts and our minds. And, you know, it's how our assumptions about what is going to be, like, we create things based on like how we think. So anyway, you always just like get my brain going.
And that even, you're right. And that even, again, the idea of, we've been taught, like, it's, creating this idea of separation and duality, but just kind of even, female, male, masculine, feminine. It's just kind of like, oh, it's out there. It's kind of like, no, it's right here. And as I say, is we look at feminine being spirit, masculine being form, that here we are right here. No matter what shape our body is, that's form. That's masculine. It's right here. That breathing, that life force energy, that's the form. Here we are right here. It's not out there. It's just right here. So to be able to, just to love this the way that it's, what a great story.
Yeah. Embrace the woo.
I would add to that divine power, because a woman is a divine power because she is connected to spirit, because she brings the child.
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
we are one with spirit. So I wanted to add that too.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Adriana, what's your word for today?
My word for today is strength, because each one of us, we had the thread from another person, and then we connected with the other one, and then the other one, and we all threading one to each other. I don't know if that's a word, threading or whatever, but
Yeah.
but we had this thread that we pulled from one, and it was perfectly divinely orchestrated, because what Nancy came, and then I connected very deeply with that, and then Eve and Carl, and then it went how it was supposed to be, and it was such a beautiful thread in connecting each one of us. And it's all about connecting, and it's all about understanding more and more. We do these events, it's funny, but it's not in the same time. It's this, I can see it. It's becoming, it becomes like a perpetuate event. Every single event, I see the connection that's happening between each one of our guests and us together, with how we connect with each person. And it's not that, oh, it happened just because of those people. And then no, every single event, I see it over and over again. Or we allow ourselves to connect and have this thread with the other person, and see something in us, in them, because it's in them, because we couldn't see nothing in nobody without having it already in us. And when you see it in them, that means you already have it in you, whatever that is, good or bad, doesn't exist anyway. But this is something that I love to see at every single event, and I'm grateful to have each one of you. I learn every single event. I learn from each one of you, either for myself, either for what I can continue to share, or either as inspiration to be like, there are so many gifted, and we're all gifted, but so many people out there that are waking up. They're waking up to themselves, and they're waking up to their call that was called to bring in this world. So thank you to each one of you for being
Awakening.
Yes, the awakening of each one of us coming into ourselves to be able to share our gifts. So thank you.
Oh, and Adriana is a master. Like, she has a total, like, if you need something, she's like a mechanic. She's like, doo, 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 and she goes into your brain in an hour. And like, it's incredible. Like, if you need to unhook anything, definitely, check her out. But the bit about the divineness that is in us, that is called, and then I think it's funny that because you're an NLP person, and so it's like I feel like we're like a neural network. We find that connection with each other, and then we're all a part of the network, right? So okay, well, this has been fantastic. My word for today was alignment, because I feel like as we hear and attract, as we go into ourselves and come home to ourselves, as Lorna says, and we recognize those gifts and see ourselves and see other people for who they are, we make those connections and we align with and elevate. And so I feel like this has just been a really great example today of how that works, and that's exactly what we're trying to build here. And we're really delighted to have you in the group as a resource person for others, and definitely come on again. We'd like to extend on behalf of Lorna and Adriana, I want to extend you an invitation for a one-to-one interview, a little bit longer one, to go into your specific thing in front of the group. So get a hold of Lorna or Adriana or I about doing that. And we are developing some opportunities, because we have aligned partners here, and we have people who listen to and honor and uplift others. We're developing a way that we can also support each other in the financial realm as well. So we'll be developing a directory so that we can promote you and being in here as providers and connect you with clients, and as well things like an affiliate program, so that oh, Eve does this, and oh, Lorna does that, and Nancy does this, and Carla does that, and Adriana does this, and I know someone, so that then when you make that referral, you can be blessed by that, making that connection. So and we're doing that all through tech. So it'll be coming out maybe in the fall, but I just wanted to put that in your pocket for later. And yeah, we just have had so much fun here today, celebrating Lorna's birthday with you guys. And looking forward to having you guys both in the group and on again, and seeing you in interviews. So thank you so much for being here. It was perfectly timed, and I hope you guys have the great rest of the weekend. And yeah, that's all for today, folks.
I just want to add a little thank you. Oh, well, yeah. I just want to, before we close up and say everybody say goodbye, I pull a card. So I want to share that to close it all off. And what came through was goodness. So I overcome my imperfections, polish my character, and feed on the positive. Though I free myself, allow my goodness to manifest and become a source of joy. Through gentleness, I offer unconditional support, understanding, and love to myself and others.
Yay! Beautiful. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm so glad you guys are here. All right, you guys.
Nancy wanted to say something as well. Nancy, did you?
No, I was just going to throw in a quote, because we are nature, and I love this quote by Mary Davis. It's just a walk in nature walks the soul back home, and that's what we're doing. We're walking our soul back home and becoming in alignment with who we are.
Yay! Great. Well, I'm going to get this recording into YouTube and posted in the group. That takes me a hot minute. So, but I'm going to post a screenshot as well, and looking forward to tagging you each in that. Make sure that you drop all your links. And for anybody watching on replay, make sure that you reach out to Nancy and Carla and even Adriana and Lorna if you have anything that you need. Okay, have a great weekend.
Be with you all.
Bye.
Okay, bye.